And so often we have wonderful guests that come over and visit us here at Líderes del Futuro on KBBF that org or 89.1 FM. And today we have one such individual. Gabriela Arango and I have known each other. Gabriela is now at the University of Berkeley. Gabriela, first of all, welcome to the show. Second of all, what are you doing at Berkeley these days?
Thank you, Rafael. It's nice to see you again. I am currently a PhD student in the integrated biology at UC Berkeley, and I study the diving physiological adaptations of sea turtles. So I want to know, I want to answer the question, what is it that sea turtles are so well adapted to withstand long periods of hypoxia? Well, without any harm, if we try to do that, then we die, obviously. So that's my question.
How much longer do you have at the university?
So I'm in my third year. So ideally 2 more years.
Okay, and three, what is happening after you get that PhD?
I will like to serve my community, maybe as a nonprofit or community outreach, science education, informal science education. I haven't decided if I also wanted to do like a teaching job, but yeah.
Good. Do some research and then on the weekends do your other tasks. That's wonderful. One of the things that brings me the biggest joy, I tell people, is to see individuals that I met maybe in high school, and then now they're getting those master's degrees and PhDs and so on and so forth. It's beautiful. And then to see them later on as colleagues, either teaching or running their own organizations. So I'm very proud of the work that you've done, and I look forward to updates later on. We'll invite you back for a second interview because we were talking off the air about one of the projects you're working on. But today we want to talk about Discovery Day, Science Discovery Day. Can you tell us a little bit more about that event?
So the North Bay Science Discovery Day is an event that is running into the 10th year anniversary this year. So this is the 10th year that it's a purely run volunteer community event where we try to inspire kids to get engaged in science, kids and youth to get engaged in science and different STEM fields, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Definitely. And again, I think that a lot of kids, unless you make it fun and enjoyable, by the time they go into middle school, a lot of kids are like, I'm over this stuff. And then when they go to high school, they're required to again take either that biology, that chemistry, or maybe that physics class. And many kids are not into it anymore. And sometimes they say, I want to be a doctor. Well, are you aware that you're going to have to take biology and physiology and anatomy? And the moment you say science, they're like, I'm done. I'm just going to be doing this other career. And one of the things that I love about the North Bay Science Discovery Day is that the activities that you put together, everyone, whether they are children at a very young age or whether they are elderly, everybody wants to become a scientist by the time they finish at that event. Can you tell us about some of the activities that you're going to have at this event?
Yeah, so some of the activities, as you mentioned, they're all targeted to make it fun because science is in reality fun. To me, science is fun. I do science because I love the question that I'm pursuing. Not like I have to make it fun, otherwise I also get bored. It's not just kids. But some of the activities that they're going to be presenting is like maybe dissecting a squid or touching the inside of a squid, playing catch with robots, launching rockets, discovering sound waves, making electricity, learning how to be a medical provider, maybe dissecting a human brain. So it's just a variety of science exhibits to learn about what is it or how broad is it, the word science.
Definitely. And again, it's a beautiful experience. You go in there, sometimes you just don't know what to expect, and then Once you're in there, there's all these beautiful activities. And again, when you come out, you're so motivated. And that's the goal. This country needs, this planet needs a lot more scientists in all the diverse areas. We need to get back to believing in what science does, because science is what has made so many advancements. And so I'm glad that you are participating, that you are coordinating the volunteers. Can you tell us the day of the event? This is the 10th annual North Bay Discovery Day. Can you tell us when the date of the event is, the time, and the location?
The day of the event is going to be Sunday, May 15, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And the location is going to be in the Sonoma County Fairgrounds. And it's going to be completely free. Parking is free. Well, you don't need to register, but everything is going to be free. And the other thing that I would like to mention is that we're taking a lot of COVID precautions. So that means you have to have either a proof of vaccination or a negative test, a negative COVID test to attend.
Definitely. It's interesting. While we are chatting, I'm getting text messages from people. One of the things that um, people say, what type of activities, sometimes you do bring a brain there so that people can look at a brain there in front of you. And it's interesting. Somebody just texted me and is like, okay, sign me up. I want to learn how to dissect a brain. So again, just by having this conversation, people are getting excited about participating, which brings me to the other question. Um, is there an age limit, or is there a limit in general? You mentioned that there is no registration required. How many people do you expect to see there?
We're expecting, well, last time this event was held in person, I believe 3 years ago, we had 15,000 visitors. So it's a huge event, and it's truly filled with lots of fun and lots of discovery and creativity. It's like going to a giant museum, but even better because you have people that are like teaching you something. So every booth is an activity. We have over 50 local organizations, and each organization will have their own booth. So it's at least 50 activities that you're going to learn.
Definitely. Again, it's important that the community come together. We've been dealing with COVID for a while. We've been dealing with the fires for a while. It's time that we come back and we create community. Um, we were talking earlier in Spanish that many of us are having this almost shock at trying to figure out, are we shaking hands today when we see loved ones and other individuals? Are we giving each other hugs? Are we elbowing each other? What is it that we're doing? We have lost some of our social interaction skills. And it's beautiful that you all have this opportunity for people to come together and collaborate. And as a result of that, again, learn from each other and the benefits of obtaining an education in science, which brings me to that other question of what motivated you to pursue a PhD over at Berkeley?
Well, I never thought I was going to do that. First, I wanted to be a doctor. And I signed up at the JC. That's where I met you. And I signed up because I remember your conversation saying there is a way that you can go to the university. My counselor back in high school had told me that I could not go to the university because I didn't speak any English. So I went to the uni. You told me that there was another route to go to community college. So I went to community college and I spent 7 years in there because I wasn't very sure what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a medical doctor. So I was studying my science major to transfer. And when I was getting my science major, I interned with a cardiologist, and I thought it was super boring. I thought it was like the same all day. And I didn't like it, to be honest. I did, however, like the operating room and like all the like seeing all the patients and like the cool things behind giving a patient a pill. So one of my professors suggested that I should do an internship at California Academy of Sciences. So I applied to do an internship there, and I got the internship. So I went there and I did my internship. It was, I discovered or described 3 new species of mesophotic fish, and I thought it was so cool. I thought, first of all, I never knew that the museum had any science going on, like real science. I thought it was just like an exhibit to make money, but it's not. It is a full like real scientist
Research,
in the
yeah,
back. Yeah,
yeah,
so I totally love it. I fall in love. We were talking a little bit about the spark or the interest. How do you create that? Well, even as an adult, you need that spark, and I found that spark at Cal Academy, and that's where I just switched and I start to pursue. First of all, I graduated. I graduated from the JC in 2014. Then I transferred to Sonoma State, and I also found that to be very, very supportive. So I graduated with my bachelor's, and then I was applying to do masters because they recommended me that I should do a master's, and I never thought I was, first of all, I never thought I was going to graduate in the first place in this country. And for me, doing a master's was, I found it to be very blessed. I feel very blessed that I was able to do a master's, and to do a master's in something that I found so interesting as sea turtles. I just have a lot of passion for conservation and the environment. And um, I end up doing my field work in Mexico, which was amazing. I cannot tell you how blessed I felt to go back to my own country and help out there. And then after that, I just fell in love. Like I was hooked, and I applied to PhD programs. I got into 3 different programs, and I chose Berkeley. And there I am.
good. And I think that that is what you just described is exactly what the problem is with science, right? Or with the lack of science. That you have to put on these amazing events like the North Bay Discovery, Science Discovery Day, because otherwise kids don't get exposed, right? They see books where there's a turtle and there's a frog and there's this, but that's one thing. When you go to this event, there's all of these activities that are hands-on activities, and that's what motivates these kids to get back. And yeah, I have to do all those research or problems I have to do with my by hand, right, for my class, for math, for science, whatever, but it connects to real life. And I think that I wonder how your situation would have been different if you had been exposed much younger to this type of activity. And I think that that is what motivates you to do this work and volunteer a lot of your time to be able to make sure that people succeed and get that spark that you're talking about. And so the North Bay Science Discovery Day is going to happen again, the date, the time, the location, so that, and again, remind people whether they have to register or not.
So they don't have to register, but they do have to bring either a COVID negative test or proof of vaccination. And it's completely free. Parking is free. There will be no money spent in the fair inside or outside. I mean, unless you want to eat something outside, but that's different.
Mm-hmm.
And it is going to happen at the Sonoma County Fairgrounds in Santa Rosa. So, and it's going to happen, the date is a Sunday. It's May 15, and it's going to be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Definitely. And again, come over, come with an open mind. Science has a lot to offer us. Right? When we talk about COVID, the vaccine, it was through science, right? And they have been working on this COVID issue for a long, long time. This is not the first time. But again, the more you learn with science, the more you get that spark, the more often that you do it with your kids, the better. And so you mentioned about doing an internship at the what is called the California what is called the
California Academy of Sciences.
Academy of Sciences. Thank you. I've only been there in my life once, and it was a beautiful experience. And again, being able to take our children on a regular basis on those type of exploratory experiences is exactly what keeps them motivated. So I personally want to thank you, one, for sharing a little bit about your story, for making us proud for the fact that you are at the most prestigious public school in the planet, doing serious work because it's science. Um, and again, you're trying to offer an opportunity to society with your research, but also with this project of the North Bay Science Discovery Day. So I want to thank you for taking the time, being with us, and then reminding us that we all can learn something new. So thank you, Gabriela, for taking the time and being with us here at Líderes del Futuro on KBBF.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to our next interview. We were talking before we started here about a project that you're working on. So I really look forward to talking about maybe a nonprofit or something of the kind that you're working on. So we are leaving people with that question. What is Gabriela working on? So thank you for being here. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.